Well, if the US Secretary of State is coming here to the Middle East, it's probably because he has something to say, a message to convey. US Secretaries of State don't make social visits in this part of the world. And we have seen on Sunday the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defending the US President Joe Biden in front of his government. That comes after his own National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, said that the US was, quote, harming the Gaza war effort. Now, Netanyahu came out saying he really appreciates US support when it comes to weaponry, support in international institutions, and also actually US forces being sent here to the region. What's important to understand is that Netanyahu doesn't want to make it look to his government or to Israeli citizens that he bows to every US demand. And so that means that on the one hand, he said actually even to his government yesterday, he knows when to say no to the US, but he also knows when he needs to say yes. And this is at a time, the context here in Israel is that society is divided. This upcoming deal, which Hamas is studying right now, which could see the exchange of the remaining Israeli hostages in Gaza for Palestinian prisoners and a pause in the fighting. There are many Israelis who want that deal. They want the fighting to end and they want to see those Israeli hostages in Gaza coming home. But you have others now in Israeli society speaking up, saying that they would be against a deal, against the release of Palestinian prisoners in any kind of deal, and against a pause in the fighting. So all this comes as pressure for the Israeli Prime Minister. And you can really see that when it comes to his relationship with the US.
And there's even more pressure as well, isn't there, Claire? Because the French Foreign Minister is also in the region weighing into this too.
Yes, Stéphane Séjourné is in Israel this morning. He'll be going to the West Bank later in the day. France really has a very clear message. France is pushing for a ceasefire, the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza, and real efforts for a path to political negotiations which would see a two-state solution. So the French Foreign Minister says he's here to show solidarity with Israelis and with Palestinians. It's also understood that he is very much keen to stress that he is against any kind of potential Israeli settlements in Gaza. That comes a week after about a dozen ministers in the government actually attended a pro-settlement rally conference event. And in that, there were several ministers from Netanyahu's own government. Again, France is stating that it is very much against any kind of forced displacement of Gazans. France views Gaza as a Palestinian territory. So there are other things at play here. Stéphane Séjourné will be here in Jerusalem later on today and very much trying to push that French message that France wants to see a ceasefire and political negotiations as soon as possible.